say, under Governor Brownback's budget, and with the full political support of the Policy Institute and Americans for Prosperity, base funding for education in Kansas has dropped to the 1999 level for 2012, and that's not adjusted for inflation. Schools are now working with a cut of $232 per pupil from this time last year. And I want to put that in perspective with you. Topeka High School, just a few blocks down the street, has an enrollment of 1,838 students. At $232 per student, they got cut in that high school $426,416. My children went to Quail Run Elementary in nearby Lawrence, just down the road. With an enrollment of 474 students, Quail Run this year was cut 109,968 students. One school. And my grandson is in kindergarten in a class of 20 students. That one class was cut $4,640. Just what do policymakers think the impact of a $426,000 cut to Topeka High School will be? How many outdated textbooks will not be replaced? How many student supports will be cut off? Paraprofessionals, librarians, counselors. And what is the impact of a $110,000 cut to a single elementary school? Shall we just take it all out of art supply? Stop buying new literature collections? And in that kindergarten class, how do we absorb a cut of $4,600? Let's just simply increase the class size, or should we raise fees for parents? From the 2008-9 school year to 2010-11, cuts reduced the teaching staff by 1,289 licensed teachers. And another 935 support people.
That ain't right.
Well, we've still not received data for this year. But if you think we haven't had cuts and layoffs again, well, I don't know where the cuts happen. I know that some of these lost jobs were not layoffs. They were retirees who were not replaced. But those lost positions represent lost opportunities for the young people that just graduated from Emporia State or Kansas State or another teacher training institution. And those lost positions represent lost revenue for our community merchants, for retailers and restaurants, auto dealers and realtors. That's money that will not be spent in our communities. And now these anti-government zealots at the Kansas Policy Institute have announced their new effort to destroy this state. They call it the race to zero. That's exactly what it is. It is a race to the bottom. It is a race to zero SRS offices in Kansas. It is a race to zero Kansans off the social service waiting list. It is a race to zero road maintenance projects. It is a race to zero top quality schools.
Shame on you!
They sit right now and have called on the legislature and the governor to eliminate the income tax in Kansas. They would have you believe that if we just don't have any income tax, most of the nation's going to relocate to Kansas and give us all big job offers. But what will they really accomplish if they win their race to zero? After eliminating the 44.7% of our state revenue that comes from the personal income tax, the state will have no choice but to enact massive cuts to services. And those cuts will either mean we shut down more SRS offices, force more people onto waiting lists, close more schools, reduce more public safety officers, or we just raise sales and property taxes to pay for those services. And the first big shift, big tax shift, will be to move from state funding to local funding, as local communities struggle to hold themselves harmless. And this results in a shift from income to sales and property, a shift from a fairly progressive tax system to one that punishes working men and women with higher and higher taxes and lower taxes for the wealthiest individuals in our state. It's no secret where these ideas come from. It's no secret that behind the Kansas Policy Institute and Americans for Prosperity stand a couple of billionaires who don't seem to share the same Kansas values that brought you here today.
Right on.
And you are here because you believe in